us again. Again, my name is Alice Rodriguez. I'm the Small Business Advocate for the High Speed Rail Authority. We're very excited to be here for our certification workshop. I'd like to make a few brief introductions before we get started. And you might need to look to the back of the room. I'd like to introduce Karen Massey, who's joined me from headquarters. She's an information officer. As is Rachel Keystone, who's in the back there. You might have seen her if you or heard from her if you RSVP'd. She's the one that you RSVP'd to. We also have Julia Brown joining us there at the table, shared lots of information, and Paul Drews as well. Thank you. So if you have any questions about the project, about the small business program in general for High Speed Rail, please feel free to talk to any of us. If you catch us, we're happy to answer questions for you. With that, we also have some other guests that are joining us today. We have Natalie Orta from the U.S. Small Business Administration. Hello. She's going to be speaking to us in just a few, or after our High Speed Rail presentation, excuse me. And she'll talk a little bit about, as a federal partner, we recognize one of their certifications, the 8A, so she'll give us some information about that. And then Elsa. Oh, okay, great. Okay, one second, let me finish the introductions. Yeah. Elsa King will be joining us from the Department of Transportation, and I kind of find it funny that she's running late and she works for Caltrans. I wonder what that says. So hopefully she will be here. She knew the place and location, and I haven't received an email that she's going to be late, so or not make it, so I'm hoping that she'll be here. She's going to talk to us about the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification that we recognize, which is generally it's minority and women-owned firms, but don't be thinking that that's the only type of classification. Lots of different things can categorize you as disadvantaged. And then Angel Hood is here. Hi, Angel. Good morning. She's from the Department of General Services. Our very, very, very important partner, because today, if you brought the right paperwork and depending on the type of business that you own, some of you will hopefully be walking out of here certified to work with the state of California. And that brings me to a very important point about today, is that it's not just about High Speed Rail, though we're hosting the event and we're going to talk to you about our project because we're very excited to share with anyone who wants to listen. But it's more than just working with High Speed Rail. It's about working for the state of California on any contract or procurement. And Angel, correct me, hundreds open at any moment in time, contracts and procurements for the state of California?
Absolutely.
Right, so there's plenty of opportunity beyond High Speed Rail. And as a small business owner or somebody who works for a small business, you know how important it is to keep those contracts or those procurements coming, right? You want to keep them coming. So those are our partners that'll be here and they'll be speaking to all of us today. Oh, that's right, yes. Thank you, Karen. How quickly I forget. Come on up if you don't mind. Can I get your name?
Myrna.
Myrna?
Yes.
Myrna is joining us from the University of Antelope Valley, and we'd like to give her a few minutes to welcome us, but also to tell us a little bit about resources they have here available.
Hello, everybody. I'm so underdressed right now. My name is Myrna. I'm the Director of Admissions at the University of Antelope Valley, and I was asked to speak to you briefly about the resources that we have at our campus. We have a department SPDC, which my colleague Ramon back there has his office there working with small business owners to help them develop their business, whether it's with coming up with a financial plan or a proposal. It's a free service for not only for our staff, our students, but also for the community as well. And I'm sure he'll touch on that a little bit later, but I just want to make everyone aware that we have these out here for our community. If you have any questions, we have the direct main source right behind us, and he can also help you guide you towards that. And that's my show. All right, everybody.
Just a minute to Karen Massey, who's going to give you an informational overview about the High Speed Rail project. I'll talk to you a little bit about our program at High Speed Rail, one that I'm very proud of in terms of the small business participation. Then we'll have Natalie and then Elsa talk to us about specific certifications that are available to you. Then we'll take a little bit of a break, and then DGS, the real star of the show, I'm sure that all of you are chomping at the bit for. After the break, will talk to us about DGS's certification as an SBE or a DVBE, that's Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Certification, and then actually walk us through if you brought the paperwork and you're interested in staying. So those of you that don't want to stay for certification, you can leave after the break, after you get your questions answered and all that good stuff. But those that want that certification and see what that's all about, please stick around and use one of these workstations to get yourself walked through that process. Sound good? All right, let's turn it over to Karen Massey. He's going to give us a statewide overview.
Thank you. So we're a little bit behind. So Japan's been out there doing high-speed rail for 50 years. There's over 3,600 high-speed rail that should be train sets here, over 18,000 18,500 miles of high-speed rail and 1.6 billion annual passengers riding on high-speed rail around the world. Why high-speed rail in California? Has anybody driven down to the LA Basin? Does anybody like going down in there during the weekday? Who likes that? Well, we don't like it either. That's why we want to get you on the train so you don't have to do that anymore. The other thing is from LAX to San Francisco is the busiest short haul market as far as planes are concerned in the nation. Many of those planes coming out of there are delayed. Then you got to sit there and try to fly standby getting down in there, and it's hard going standby because so many of those planes are full. The other thing is by 2050 there's 36 million people who live in California now. We expect 50 million people by 2050, and if we're having a problem getting around now, what's it going to be like when we add the equivalent of the state of Ohio to our population here? How are those people going to get around? And then of course we have bad air quality here. This is going to be all electric, so clean energy. We also want to be able to get it from renewable sources, and we also want to be able to produce energy to put it back out on the grid so it can power people's houses and businesses. And then of course the alternatives are very costly. We expect San Francisco to LA to cost $68 billion, and to just build the number of highways to get us all around, it would cost $150 million. That's not including the maintenance. That's just building it. We also still need money. That doesn't include the money for the airport terminals that we would need and the airport runways that we would need to move all the people that high-speed rail will move. Here's phase one from San Francisco at the Transbay Terminal, which is under construction now. Coming out through Gilroy, that'll be 200 miles an hour down through Bakersfield. Then we're going to kind of slow down when we get to Burbank. And going to LA Union Station out to Anaheim. That's phase one, that's 520 miles. That's what they estimate will be $68 billion. And then phase two will add 300 extra miles, so we'll be 800 miles from Merced up to Sacramento and LA down to San Diego. It's going to help shape cities. One of the things that we want to have is when we put our stations up, that the development will be around the station so that we don't produce urban sprawl, which is what we do now. We run out and we put houses out there. We have no thinking at all about public transit, walking, bicycles. We have no thought. We're just putting houses out there. That's urban sprawl. Here we want to put the stations up and do the development around it that makes sense. That will already be done. And then the other section is San Jose out to Merced. That will be on our own tracks at that point. But it's going to tie all the transportation systems together. Transbay Terminal will have 11 different transit systems coming in. BART, ACE train, what else? They got all these different trains that are going. All the bus systems will be going in there too. And we'll be going in there as well into the Transbay Terminal. And here's where the stations are going to be: the Transbay Transit Center, Millbrae, San Jose, and Gilroy. Gilroy right now has a planning grant. They have a planning grant. So many of the cities that are going to have stations are getting planning grants. The Central Valley, of course, is going to be the backbone of the system. This is LA Union Station, and out to Anaheim, the Arctic Station is already finished. It's an absolute gorgeous thing. It changes colors, it makes musical sounds. It's a beautiful thing. So we're going to Disneyland, y'all. We're going to Disneyland. That's where Anaheim is. We're going to Disneyland. And when you get to that station, you go, I'm in Disneyland. It's a beautiful thing. But the other thing is, it's going to, there's a gap going up over the Tehachapi's. We haven't gone over the Tehachapi's since the 1970s. The freight trains go up there, but the passenger trains don't go up there. And up at the top, they have a hyperloop where the train, you can be on the front of the train and you see the back of the train, they come around and go like that because it's so steep. And of course, we can't do that because we'll be going too fast. But that's one of the things we want to close, because right now on Amtrak, you go down to Bakersfield and you get on a bus. The Amtrak bus, it's the same people you were with on the train, because people go, Greyhound bus? No, the Amtrak bus. And the Amtrak bus takes you down into the LA Basin. And that's what slows everything down going on Amtrak right now. And that's all I have for you right now. We're going to bring Alice back up. She can tell you about our very aggressive small business program.
Really like if all of you just take the 1 second to say your name and the business that you're representing today. I think it's a nice way to network so you know who your small business colleagues are here in the region. But it also helps us as we go through our presentation to answer any questions specifically to your type of industry. Small business participation goal. That's the largest goal of any state project that I know of here and probably likely in the nation. Does anybody know what normal state projects, what kind of goals they generally have for small businesses?
Isn't it about somewhere between 3 and 5%?
Okay, so it depends. So for disabled veterans, like Morris here, 3% is pretty standard on state contracts. Southern California, 89 small businesses. We even have some that are coming from outside of the state. Now that's important because that's where those small businesses are headquartered. That's where the economic stimulus is happening across the state for the high-speed rail project. Okay, so we are committed to diverse small businesses, and I've already talked a little bit about this, but again, it bears repeating. The businesses that count toward our overall goal are SBs and MBs. Those are micro businesses. Again, those are certifications that Department of General Services offers. The Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise is also one that DGS recognizes or does the certification for. The California Unified Certification Program, that's the DBE program. And I'm going to pause for just a second because we partner with Caltrans, who's the statewide kind of owner of that program here in the state of California, but there's other agencies. And so I bring that up because you might have heard of other agencies. I don't know, I know LA Metro is one. What are some other ones? Does the county or city of Los Angeles do it?
Yes.
She's going to talk more about it. I didn't mean to put her on the spot. She's going to list all the other agencies that you could get that certification through. And so while we bring Caltrans into our workshops here to talk to you about that process, there are other avenues to pursue that certification. You don't have to just go through Caltrans. You know, these outreach workshops, that's the #1 thing because we want to get in front of you. We want you to hear about the project, hear about our goals, and get connected to resources with the partners that we have here in the room. But we do things beyond that. We do things like Meet the Primes and industry forums. We do pre-bids. Does anyone here know what a pre-bid is? Okay, let me tell you. So when we release a large contract, it just depends on the size of it. We will offer what's called a pre-bid event. And what that's meant to do is be like a mixer. Where the primes, so those large firms, they're going to want to bid on that contract, will come to the event to hear us walk through the RFQ or the RFP. You know, because those things are, I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of those from the state, but they can be hundreds of pages long, right? Yeah, I mean, and it's like alphabet soup. So we kind of talk through the primary elements of that procurement. And then we also invite small businesses to attend. So those that are interested in that potential to potentially hit that 30% goal, because again, that contract will have a 30% goal and a 10% DBE and a 3% DVBE goal attached to it. So we have those we have those pre-bid events so that we can kind of do some matchmaking. And that's important for us because how else are you going to hear about and know who has interest in bidding on that contract? And then you can ideally make that networking connection and potentially get on their team. If they're the successful bidder and they're the ones that win that contract, you have a great relationship already started with them. Okay, so this is something I'm also really proud of. We convene a business advisory council. How many of you have heard of the Chamber of Commerce? Right. So do you know that there's some that are minority focused, like Asian Chamber of Commerce, African American Chamber of Commerce, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce? Are you a general contractor?
No, we supply general contractors.
You supply general contractors. Okay, so there are the general, what's it called? Association of General Contractors. Thank you, Karen. I kind of knew you were going to help me out there. So they represent all general contractors in the state, those that want to be part of that business association. What's the Association of Military Engineers, or what is the Army Corps of Military?
Society of Military.
Okay, another one. So they're all focused on engineering. Those are engineering firms that want to be associated together so that they can, like a Chamber of Commerce, like strengthen numbers. The Disabled Veteran Business Alliance, another proud partner. These are all organizations that help small businesses, strengthen themselves, get connected to resources. We convene that group every other month. we bring them together, they talk to us, they advise us about what's happening in the small business world, how can we make it easier, how can we bring down those walls that restrict small businesses, and we use them as a resource to say, hey, we need your advice on this. So every other month, that group gets together with us, generally in Sacramento. Somebody at the last meeting asked me where. We generally have those meetings in fact, in Angel's building at Department of General Services in West Sacramento. But if you would like information on the Business Advisory Council, on our website, hsr.ca.gov, there's this whole small business program page, and you will find information about the Business Advisory Council there, including past minutes, upcoming schedule for the year, all of that. And anyone's welcome to attend those meetings. Did I see him?
I just have a question. Do they have something for manufacturing?
I don't think we have a group that's focused on manufacturing. Well, that's an interesting.
It's important.
Well, you know what we do have? We have one of our business advisory members is a woman named Lee Cunningham, and she is a steel producer. I don't know but she represents women. She represents WCOE, women construction owners and executives. And so their focus in general is just construction field, but there are manufacturers in that group. Yeah, but it's not solely for that. Yeah, exactly. Okay, there's also this one, which is doing business with high-speed rail, which you can connect through the small business program or just under the programs page. This is an important place because from here you can always see what procurements are open, what's happening. You can sign up if you go to our Contact Us webpage. Every website nowadays has a Contact Us site or page on their website. And you can sign up for e-blast. So anytime we have an event, we're going to have a Meet the Primes. We're going to have a pre-bid. Anything related to small business you can sign up for, or you can sign up for just for things that are happening in your region. But doing the business with high-speed rail is a great place to also connect with Cali Procure. This is where we push you out to the state of California, because again, it's not just high-speed rail, it's any state contract, right? And so they're breaking that down into smaller contracts and working with small businesses because they have to hit that 30% goal. So these are our current 3 construction packages. Oops, the wrong button. Construction package 1, if you remember, Karen was talking to you about these different sections. Construction package 1, Madera to Fresno, more or less, Más o menos. Construction package 2-3 is 69 miles of track through connecting kind of close to downtown Fresno all the way down to, near the Kern County line, just a mile shy, I think. And then construction package 4, if you remember, Karen was saying we just noticed at our last board meeting who the apparent best value bidder is, and that's a company that's, Ferrovial is the main contractor. They're a high-speed rail firm out of Spain, but they put kind of like a conglomerate or a joint venture together called California Rail Builders. And Joanne Siracusa is their small business liaison. Right? These are all small business liaisons, John James and Maurice King, and also with our rail delivery partner, Parsons Brinkerhoff, huge firm. They are Terry Marcellus is their small business liaison. Again, all of these folks are responsible to help these firms meet that 30% goal on very large contracts, right? Hundreds of millions of dollars we're talking. Okay, so if I were you, I'd look at this. So construction package 1 is the first one out the gate. There's a lot of work already happening in Central Valley under that construction package, and they've had a long time to develop their small business program and their small business plan. Construction package 2-3, not even a full year yet, right? So they're still working to develop their small business plan. Construction package 4, just fresh out, not even, the ink is not completely dry yet on that contract, and we're still in negotiations. So they are definitely still building their small business teams, right? So this is again why this information becomes very important to you, and I would hope that all of you take this home with you. And if you're in the mindset of networking or trying to put your name out there, these are all people I would give a call to and say, or send an email to, or both. Just say, my name is so-and-so, my company does this, I am a certified small business, and whatever that certification may be. I want to know if there's any work available on your project, or if we can get together and discuss how my company could benefit your contracts here in these construction packages. Okay. So it's not just small businesses, but imagine all the jobs coming in to build high-speed rail. We are targeting California workers. There's the construction, the direct jobs, right? Actually putting the shovels in the dirt and pouring that concrete, right? And putting up that rebar. and building those first pylons, or what are they called? What are those things called that we? Are they pylons that are going to go for the Fresno River Viaduct?
Foundations.
Yeah. So, yep, getting us moving and going. But there's also indirect jobs. Anybody have an idea what an indirect job might be for the high-speed rail project?
Somebody who manufactures the parts that they need to put in those.
Hello. Yes, wonderful, right? Who supply parts, right? Thinking about food services, right? Or professional services that these big firms might need. Maybe they need to plan a big event for a community meeting. I don't know. Right? So there's lots of indirect jobs. It's not just construction. It's not just getting in the dirt. And then imagine we are creating statewide efficiencies. Yeah, I don't know why that bullet's in there. I don't really like that bullet. I'm going to pass it. Because I want to get to these numbers, because these are really important numbers. The U.S. Conference of Mayors says that high-speed rail will add $4.3 billion to the Los Angeles regional economy and 55,000 jobs by 2035. That is a significant economic boom to the community here in Southern California, or the region, I should say. In Bay Area, we're working. I might have not been paying. Did we talk about the Caltrain electrification project?
I did.
Okay, great. So you guys heard from Karen that the Caltrain electrification project is happening, where we're going to be using their lines and electrifying their tracks so that we can run on those same tracks. That project alone will create 9,600 jobs for the most part there, and generate $2.5 billion to their economic activities. So the jobs are important, and so let's talk about jobs. There's not just the preliminary construction jobs, because you can imagine what those will entail. Planners, engineers, that's every type of engineer you can imagine. Environmental engineers, surveyors, estimators, right-of-way agents. We use outreach and public relations teams to help us, and also the actual construction workers, the trade unions, actually doing that work. And then think about post-construction. Once this thing is up and running and operational, think about the tens of thousands of employees it's going to take to make this thing run every day. From procurement on the train sets and actually railcar manufacturing to keep those coming, right? The operation planners, the station managers and workers, everyone who's working in those stations, passenger services, train operators, train dispatchers, security teams, maintenance engineers, and maintenance workers. All of those people we're gonna need them to keep this thing running on time. Okay, so go online, go to our social media, connect with us on Facebook, go to the HSR.ca.gov contact us page. Get on that e-blast. We want you to know when we're having Meet the Primes, or we're having pre-bids. That's how you stay connected to our project. But again, like I said, it's not just about us. We've got our partners here today. So I'd first like to bring up Natalie Orta, who's going to talk to us about the 8A certification that the SBA offers.
Beautiful day in the Antelope Valley, nice and crisp. It kind of feels like winter, right? And where's El Nino? That was my question for the morning.
I heard it's coming.
Well, we have to be ready. So, I'm going to put this down right here. All right. So my name's Natalie Orta. I work at the LA District Office of the U.S. Small Business Administration, SBA. We are a federal agency. And this morning in my presentation, we're going to talk a little bit about several things. I'm going to give you a brief review of what we do as a federal agency, number one. Number two, provide you with some resources to help you out. I already talked about Raymond being back here. Look at him right back there. There's our man, right? He works at Small Business Development, so I'm going to talk about that later on. Dispel some misunderstandings. There are a few. I'm going to give you a brief overview of federal certifications and, of course, encourage your entrepreneurial dreams. Does that sound good to you? Let's do this. So, we have a 5-pronged mission at the SBA, and we'll talk about all of this morning. Access to capital, counseling and training, we help with government contracting, we assist with disaster recovery, and we are also the voice of small business in Washington. We have advocacy for small businesses. Let's just do it. Capital. So, people think about SBA, people think about financing. SBA's role is that of a guarantor. What does that mean, actually? So the banks lend money to small businesses, right? Do they do it readily? Is it easy to get financing? The reality is that after the big crash, back quite a few years ago there, what happened was that before that, banks were getting pretty liberal with their lending, weren't they? And basically, if you could smile and sign a piece of paper, you got your loan. You tell them how much money you made, right? Yeah, I make $500,000 a year. Isn't that fabulous? Well, that was problematic. Ergo, the crash. What's happened now is the banks now have gone the other way, and they're rather conservative. All the regulators are breathing down their necks. Their boards are making sure they're making good loans. With an SBA guarantee, it's kind of like an insurance policy for the bank. It makes the bank a little bit more willing to lend to small businesses. So that's our role, is that guarantee. Guarantees can go up as high as anywhere from 75 to 90% depending on the program. So again, the bank's more willing to lend with an SBA guarantee. Most banks have an SBA division. People tell me, where do I start? I tell people to start at the bank where you have your accounts, where you have a relationship with the lender, okay? Doesn't mean you're going out for happy hour, but that banker needs to know you and know your business and know what you're about. If you don't have a relationship with someone at your bank, either find somebody at that bank or find another bank. That relationship is really, really important for you as a small business person. Now, you know what it boils down to? Bankers want to know 3 things, my friends. Only 3 things. Are you ready? Number 1, how much money do you need? Simple, right? Well, people call us, you know, Ray back there is going to tell you this happens. People call up and say, hey, I need a loan for my small business. And I'll say, how much money do you need? And they'll say, how much can I get? Which is a very bad response. You know how much money you need, number 1. What you're going to use the money for, number 2. And of course, how are you going to pay that loan back? So that's what it boils down to. Let's take a look at some things here. So we have several main loan programs. There's our 7A program, which is kind of our flagship umbrella program. There's our 504 loan, which is for real estate and fixed assets, anything that's bolted to the ground like heavy machinery. And our microloan program, which is for those small and crucial loans. Now, how can you use the proceeds for an SBA? At the state level, at the county level, and different organizations will have their own certifications. I would love to say, you know, there's one big blanket, beautiful, simple existence. No. But there's help available for you. Now, the 8A program is a 9-year business development program. 9 years, right? Now, it's a 5% prime contract set aside. But remember, for the 8A program, I'm going to talk about it in a second, it's a one-time deal. You're an 8A certified business for 9 years, and that's it. You've got your chance to be in the 8A program. So when you try to apply, when you apply for that program, make sure you're ready. Women are not considered socially or economically disadvantaged. Now, there are instances where a woman can prove, you have to prove by preponderance of evidence as a woman that you are socially disadvantaged. And I'll give you an example. Let's say that Joanne has a fabulous construction firm and she's been trying to get contracts forever. And she just finds that, you know, as Joanne, it's just not working. She starts just calling herself Joe. Starts bidding for something else, she's getting contracts. She's calling herself Joe just because she changed the name. She can show a preponderance of evidence over the years of discrimination against her because she's a woman in construction, and there's a process you go through. And again, Ray can help you with that, but that's what a woman would have to do if she weren't a member of one of the other groups. See? Good question. You have to be owned 51% by a socially and economically disadvantaged person. Has to be small. There has to be potential for success. Generally, to get in the 8A program, you have to do 2 years in business. And this is, the 8A presentation really is like a 4-hour workshop. I do it in a slide. But, you know, we have workshops in our office. I know that Ray does workshops on the 8A certification program, so it's something looking more. And you can go to our website for a lot of really good information on the program. Hub zone program. Okay, so you have to be in a hub zone. How do you know if you're in a hub zone? You go to our website, you type in your address. It's not necessarily by zip code, but it's by census tract. So the person across the street may not be in a hub zone. If I were going to open a construction firm, I'm going to tell you this right now, I would try to open it in a hub zone. Why? Because there's set-asides, right? It's geographic. And if as long as that hub zone boundary doesn't move, you're going to be in a hub zone forever, right? They're going to come and check and make sure that you're in the hub zone, that your main office is in the hub zone, and you have to have 35% of your employees residing in a hub zone, not sort of the hub zone where you have your office, but in a hub zone. So, and again, the 51% ownership requirement.
There was quite a bit of flooding in certain areas. The SBA actually set up a disaster recovery center to offer loans for businesses that were affected by the flood. So when we're talking about El Nino having been an impact in the valley this season, if you do have more than normal water damage, the SBA in some instances can help you with these loans to help repair, get things back going for your business.
Yeah, like Ray says, it's not necessarily just an earthquake. I mean, any number of things could be a disaster. It has to be declared, and the assistance is right there. But again, be ready, and make sure you have proper inventory in place, et cetera, where you're storing your inventory, all that kind of thing. People that can help you out. We have LAEDC here today too, don't we? Is that a fabulous thing? No? Are you LAEDC?
No, I'm not, but thanks for the
Oh. Understand your numbers, my friends, okay? And here's a big thing. When you do put together that business plan, and you have numbers in there, you're going to have your cash flow, you're going to have your all of your financials in place. Warren Buffett says that accounting is a language of business. Understand your numbers. Put it all on paper, make sure that plan works. Know if you qualify for federal certification programs. You know, some of the best business cards I've seen is somebody who puts their name of their business, everything on the back. They put NAICS codes, they put the certifications on their card. It's all there in one place. That's a cool idea for business cards. Well, the best business card I ever saw was a lady that had her name on it, had the NASA logo in the corner, and underneath the name it just said, astronaut. I know, best card ever. Use technology and enjoy yourselves while you're at it with business, okay? And with that, my presentation is through. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, everyone. I apologize for being late. I was so lost.
I think there's.
I was driving around everywhere, so I think I got to know this area a little more than I thought I would. But I made it, so glad to be here today. As Alice mentioned, my name is Elsa King. I'm the Caltrans District 7 Small Business Liaison, and so I am your local contact. We cover Los Angeles and Ventura counties. I do, and I can do something. So actually, they're going to hand out, I created a little cheat sheet for my PowerPoint, so all of my website referrals and all of the contacts, phone numbers, they're all on that cheat sheet for you. Try to make it a little easy for you. There's also a few other handouts that I think would be beneficial to you that deal with the disadvantaged business enterprise certification.
Take one and pass those down.
So just to give you a little bit of information, our District 7 Small Business Enterprise Program is pretty new. It's been a little dormant maybe for about 2-3 years, and now that we're kind of staffing up, all of us in this program are all new. We're excited to kind of reawaken the program and go out and do outreach and just start educating the public that are looking to work with Caltrans. And so for me, it's also a whole nother workshop to learn how to connect with Caltrans. We do that as well, but today I'm going to focus on the DBE certification. It's a very involved process, and we actually do not administer the Disadvantaged Business Certification out of the local office. That is done through our Office of Business Economic Opportunity in headquarters Sacramento. But we're the ones that can help connect you, provide you all the information you need, point you in the right direction. So, our mission, the District 7 Small Business Enterprise Program, is to increase awareness and participation of the small business, disabled veteran business enterprise, and disadvantaged business enterprise communities within Caltrans procurement and contracting opportunities through local outreach, education, and resources. So today I'm going to cover a little bit about what is DBE, what makes up a DBE, which is disadvantaged business enterprise, what is the basic eligibility, and what happens after you get certified. What can you do to potentially increase your business with Caltrans and other state agencies? So the United States Department of Transportation requires that a unified certification program be put into practice by each state. The DBE program is a federal program set through Federal Highway Administration, FHWA, that has been set forth to decrease disparity and increase opportunities within transportation highway-related projects. So the program ensures that DBE firms can compete fairly for federally funded transportation-related projects. There are 9 CUCP certifying agencies in the state of California. Will also qualify as a certified DBE firm in federal aid contract seeking DBE participation. So you're going to have the prime contractors that are bidding on these big jobs that have DBE requirements, and so they're looking for subcontractors so that they'll say, okay, I'm bidding on this job and I promise to use, the required DBE utilization, and then which is the only way their bid is going to be accepted. And so you can also you will also be listed in our database and receive invitations to networking outreach events such as mandatory pre-bids, pre-bids for the architectural and engineering consulting firms. We do have pre-bid meetings for those as well. So that's a networking opportunity event for you. And then you can also help us reach our DBE utilization goals, which we have a 12.5% DBE utilization goal. And then just to give you an overview of our commitment and our utilization, Caltrans had over 600 total contracts for fiscal year 2015, which covered October 1st, 2014 through September 31st, 2015. And the total DBE commitment amount was $2.7 million towards DBE firms. So that amount went towards small businesses like yourselves. The DBE application process, actually, one of the handouts is this flow chart, and it just gives you, a really good overview on understanding what happens once you submit your application, why it's Award Tracker, and that will be great especially for those of you that are looking for subcontracting work. If you go to the Award Tracker, you'll get to see who was awarded what contract, what prime was awarded the contract, what subs they work with, so you'll get to see, who you need to reach out to, who you need to try to connect with. You will also find the 12-month advertising schedule. These are for the construction contracts. There's a tool, when you go on the advertising schedule, there's actually a tool that's called the opt-in tool. You get to click, I'm going to show you, I actually printed out and brought with me today. Right now we have one construction, a pavement rehab project that we have advertised. And when you go on, this is what it's actually going to look like. So it's going to have the contract number, and it's going to start with like 07, 01, 08. Well, those first two numbers is going to tell you the district where that job is at. So this starts with 07, so it's District 7. It's us, a pavement rehab job. And then in the blue, there's going to be blue links. There's one that says opt-in. When you click on that, you'll get to see the primes that are planning to bid on this job, and you'll get to see what they're looking for. They're looking for DBE, small business, DVBE, and so they'll tell you exactly what they're looking for, what the requirements are, and then so you can, from there, you can say that you're interested. You can put in your information, what you can provide, and so hopefully, if they do win that contract, they'll reach out to you. So don't forget to take this. I actually have it in the back. And so there's so much more information that you can get from this page. So you really, for me, honestly, it wasn't the easiest thing to just find right off the bat. And so if you need to, give me a call. I'll be on my computer, I'll walk you through it, and I'll let you know how to get there, because from here you're going to access everything. You're going to access the contractor interest registry. How many of you know that we have an emergency registry that Caltrans has it? See, a lot of y'all, be ready to sell yourself to them. Make them want to contact you. We also have the Caltrans Bidding Connect. You can customize your bidding here. The type of jobs that you're looking for, and there's so many tools on here. It's just learning where they are at, how to get there. I can help you with that. So I would also suggest that if you need help with your NAICS codes and things like that, go on the DBE search on the OBEO website and find firms that are similar to yours, and find the NAICS codes that they used. You'll be able to see that, and so that'll be helpful as well. This is what, once you click that blue button, this is what it's going to look like, and it looks a little scary. The first time I opened it, I was like, well, what do I do here? So just take one step at a time. You'll eventually learn. This one actually, whoops, I'm going to button happy. This one, you can get to the procurement and contracts page, and here you can find the architectural and engineering 2-year look ahead. I also printed what we have now, what's available now for those of you that are consultants, engineering consultants, and I have it in the back. Our 2-year or our look ahead and what we're planning to put up for bid. All right. So for the DBE application assistance, please contact DBE Analyst of the Day, or you can contact me.
Great. I just want to say thank you for being here, and I hope that you found and maybe open your eyes a little to some of the resources available to you as small businesses. Again, it's not just about high-speed rail. I've said that probably 5 times already, and I'll say it again. It's really about understanding how to better your business, how to find resources that will allow you to grow and strengthen as a small business, but also ideally then that helps us, because ideally then you're prepared as high-speed rail continues to go through the alignment to participate and yourself work on high-speed rail, and we'd welcome all of you. So with that, I want to make sure that you know that we're going to take a little bit of a break, and during that time period, it's about let's see, it's 11:35, so let's come back at 10:10. But before we all say goodbye for a few minutes, I do want to make sure that you know there's a lot of resources in that back table. So a lot of the things that we've been talking about today, whether they be from Elsa or Natalie or from us, we have materials available for you. Those are also nice to kind of go back home, read through those, and kind of reiterate the things that you've learned here today and say, oh yeah, that's right, Elsa said something about that DBE, or Natalie said something about coming in and I get that 9 years of mentored development. So what I really want to make sure you do is take advantage of the resources that are here available to you today. Before we actually say goodbye for the break, raise some hands if you're planning on staying for certification. I just want to get a sense of numbers. So we've got one. The 3 of you are all together? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, great. You're welcome to stay even if you're not going to walk through the certification. I just wanted to get a sense because we have one representative from DGS today, Ms. Angel Hood. And she's going to do her very, very best, and she's excellent at it, at making sure we get to everybody and make sure that your questions get answered, and we do that walkthrough. Okay, so with that, let's come back at 10:10. Who's joining us from the California Department of General Services. She will be assisting us, talking to us a little bit about DGS's certification and their new system, Cal ePro Pure. And then beyond that, she'll be walking us through the certification process for those that want that piece. Okay? All right, thank you, and I'll turn it over to Angel. Actually, you know what? No, come on up. I just also want to say this is the last time we'll be I will be here in front of you as a group. So again, I just want to thank you all for coming, but also tell you that once you're done with your certification or to whatever point that you want to stay for, feel free to leave. You don't have to stick around. There's not going to be any more presentation, in other words, beyond what Angel's going to address for us today. And please feel free to take all the materials that you'd like. If you'd like to share with colleagues, feel free to take an extra set. We want to make sure that the message is spread far and wide. Thank you. Angel, please.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me. Does everyone get one of these handouts, or these two? Yes. I'm just going to refer to them a little bit as we go along. And I get really, really excited about certification, so please forgive me if I have too much energy for you. So hopefully I can spread some of that to you guys, because I'm a bundle of a ton of energy, really. So with that being said, I'm a certification officer within the Office of Small Business and Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, which from here on out I'll probably refer to it as SBDBE to save myself from a mouthful of words. So here's my contact information. I'll give you my direct telephone line later and some other numbers that are going to be important to you. I am located in West Sacramento at the Ziggurat building, if you are familiar with it, so you know where to find me. We do have a public counter that you can come to should you need additional assistance after this. But I'm really glad that you guys all stayed, because I really want to help you through this process. It could be a lot of information, but I'll make it as clear and easy as possible to follow along. So if you take a look at the green brochure, you want to know what small business certification is. All state agencies are required to award at least 25% of their annual contracting dollars to certified small businesses, which is what you will be. So you're not guaranteed a contract, but you have a lot more chance of getting a contract awarded to you if you have our certification. For DBEs, which does not apply to anyone here, but all agencies are required to award 3% of their annual contracted dollars to DBEs that are certified. And two, this is a minimum goal, so it's minimum of 25%. Most state agencies exceed that, so that benefits you a lot more too. Eligibility requirements. Let's make sure everyone in here qualifies for our certification. So, are you independently owned and operated? What does that mean? Do you control your own business? And does another business own your company? Do you guys all own your own companies? You're not owned by another firm, right? Okay, good. Are you dominant in your field of operation? What does that mean? Do you control the largest share of the market for the type of business that you do? Are there other companies in the state of California that do the same type of business? All right, we're still on a roll here. Is your principal office located here in California? Nobody's located in India or Japan, or no, you guys are all here? This is great. We're already almost there. Do all of your owners live here in the state of California? No? Nobody's moving to London anytime soon? If you are, take me, please. Affiliates. Do you own any other companies or have ownership in any other firms? If you do, that's totally okay, but you must make less than 14 million and have fewer than 100 employees combined with your affiliate. Does anybody make 15 million? No? I wish I did. Sure don't. Okay, you get a 5% bid preference if you are certified, which means all buyers, and I used to be a buyer as well, so I know this information, all buyers are required to obtain 3 quotes for whatever contract or purchase order or service order that they are trying to create. However, if you are certified, you get 5% off. Let me give you an example. Say you were bidding against AT&T. If you're certified, you come in at $100,000. AT&T comes in at $100,000. But because you get a 5% bid preference, you get $5,000 taken off your bid amount. So you get awarded that contract. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. You won't worry about DBEs. Once you're certified, you'll be added to our portal so that when buyers are searching for firms, say construction, HVAC, whatever you do, you will be in our portal, and so you'll come up for whatever they're searching for at the time. So it's kind of like you market yourself, but we are also able to find you. So it's a good tool to have. It's just creating a username and password, entering your basic business information in order to move to step 2. Step 2 is the actual application. So we'll go through that after everyone's registered, and then we'll go through the entire application. The third part is simple, because after you complete the application, you'll receive some sort of status, whether you're approved, hopefully you guys are all approved, or whether your documents and your application need to be reviewed by myself or a colleague. So that's it. Very simple, straightforward, so let's start.